St. Lucia paid tribute today to former Education Minister Hunter J. Francois. He lived his life fully, enjoyed music and the arts, and laid a foundation for the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College. He contributed to politics as a founding member of the United Workers' Party before eventually becoming a deeply independent political thinker. Good evening. This is the CTV News. I am Natalie Jolie-Fanis. A celebration of the life of Hunter J. Francois took place here today, beginning in the morning in the House of Assembly, where the body was laid for viewing. Family, friends, and well-wishers filed past the coffin with silent tributes and prayers for a man who lived to 91. Hunter J. Francois will be remembered for his contribution to education, politics, the arts, and independence of thought. We begin our tribute tonight with the viewing of the body at the House of Assembly.
Briefly, what I'll say, Mr. Hunter Francois belonged to an era when politics was really exciting, and it was considered almost like a noble profession in serving your country. And this era has long gone. He's left us, and apparently he's the last of this era. I can recall as a very young girl and listening to him in the Boulevard as a member of the United Workers' Party. And from that time, the first time that I heard him speak, I deemed him a philosopher. And I think it's from listening to him that night, it ignited an interest in me for politics, which up to today, I still have a very deep interest for politics. So I think he made a good contribution to St. Lucia. As you know, he was a soft-spoken man, intellectual, and tried to actually bring up issues important to our politics and the practice of politics in St. Lucia. It's a pity that some of the ideas that he brought up have not borne fruit. However, I think persons like that, we have to cherish them and cherish their memory, and also for the younger generation, I think a study of their lives should be undertaken and probably documented, so that we will know of the persons who have help to build our democracy.
Well, personally, I was a bit too young to remember Mr. Francois personally, but I do remember his essence because he was a good friend of my father and my parents. And in the early 70s, when we used to go to his property at Tuya, he had a house right there on the beach, and a lot of persons of his generation would meet there. And in my day, children did not take part in adults' conversations. So whilst everybody was inside lamenting, as we still do today, the state of the country, and various topics related to the country, we'll be on the beach making sandcastles. So my memory of Mr. Francois is really tied to that beachfront and his essence and the piano playing. There was always that music and the piano playing. And growing up with my grandmother in New Village and the Francois residence in Mondidor, we would just cut across through the shortcut. Those of us that are familiar with the area, cut across in the shortcut. And when my grandmother is looking for me in New Village, I'm in Mondidor with the Francois children, with the younger set. So those are really my memories of him, not as an adult, as many persons have been reminiscing of him as the minister and all the things he has done with his political career, his music career. Mine was really as what we'd call a tiwat.
The funeral service for Hunter J. Francois took place not too far away from Parliament at the Basilica of the Immaculate Conception, where first tributes were paid to the former Education Minister.
And from the family of Earl Francois, their tribute presented by his daughter, Kamara Francois.
Johnny and I, Hunter J. Francois, first and last poems. We had shared cigarettes together, Johnny and I, and told each other jokes. And one had come home later o' nights than the other. And then one day he caught a fever. Other days slipped by. Then I saw that Johnny was slipping away, slipping slowly and swiftly away. So I went and called the doctor, and someone called the priest. We had shared cigarettes together, Johnny and I, and told each other jokes. And one had come home later o' nights than the other. But now I was walking through the drizzle to buy a coffin for Johnny, and thinking of this and that, and choosing a spot to hide the coffin away, and urging the men to dig, for the hour was near. When I came home again, they were ready to start. I said I wouldn't go, then I said I would. So I went to my room to fetch a black tie for my neck and a black coat for my back. But I heard a noise of many men drawing together, and the foresters came and sang in one voice a hymn for the dead brother lying there, and a sickness came over me, for now I knew Johnny would come home no more.
The Day is Done by Henry Longfellow. The day is done, and darkness falls from the wings of night, as a feather is wafted downward from an eagle in his flight. I see the lights of village gleam through the rain and the mist, and a feeling of sadness comes o'er me that my soul cannot resist. A feeling of sadness and longing that is not akin to pain, and resembles sorrow only as the mist resembles the rain. Come and read to me some poem, some simple and heartfelt lay, that shall soothe this restless feeling and banish the thoughts of day.
Tell me not in mournful numbers, life is but an empty dream, for the soul is dead that slumbers, and things are not what they seem. Life is real, life is earnest, and the grave is not its goal. Dust thou art, to dust returneth, was not spoken of the soul. Not enjoyment and not sorrow is our destined end or way, but to act that each tomorrow finds us farther than today. Art is long and time is fleeting, and our hearts, though stout and brave, still like muffled drums are beating funeral marches to the grave. The world's broad field of battle is a bivouac of life. Be not like dumb driven cattle, be a hero in the strife. Trust no future, however pleasant, let the dead past bury the dead. Act in the living present, heart within and God overhead.
His tenacity harkened a profound resonance in Sinatra's I Did It My Way, a melody I'm sure he must have played and enjoyed, if not on his piano, through his daily will and deeds. Hunter had a rare, searching, and powerful intellect. Some might even say a peculiar intellect. His thirst for knowledge was never quenched. Like Sir Arthur Lewis, he believed in the transformative power of education. In his case, I would say that he was not just passionate, but fanatical in his mission to educate our people. And he had an ability to set intellectual eye towards paths for national improvement, advancement, and actualization for the mind and for the overall condition of his human brethren.
A state funeral followed the special tributes, with family and friends paying their final respects to a man who helped lay the foundation for the island's premier educational institution, the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College, named after St. Lucia's Nobel Laureate in Economics. While education pioneer Hunter J. Francois was being laid to rest, the town of Gros Islet was mourning the death of Teacher Pam, as she was affectionately known. The Lucian People's Movement paid tribute with its leader, Thorold Prudent, reflecting on his personal experiences with Teacher Pam and her contribution to the town of Gros Islet over many years. Mr. Prudent says Philippa Fulgence, known by all as Teacher Pam, was an educator who helped to shape the early lives of many young people in the classroom. He said she was equally passionate about community development. Mr. Prudent says he was inspired by her community spirit and years later worked with her on a committee planning the celebration of Gros Islet's elevation to township in 1985. We'll pause here for a moment. We will continue with more news in just a moment.